What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
Welcome back to Top Bins, the show bringing you all the latest news and notes and fun from around the beautiful game. Whether you call it football, whether you call it soccer, we're bringing you that good knowledge. It's KB and Mark coming at you, just a duo episode. Harrison started his new job this week, so he's getting back to that 9 to 5 grind, but he will be back once he's fully entrenched from training from his new job. But we are going to dive into the final week of the Premier League season. We'll talk a little Europa League. We'll talk a little Serie A title up for grabs. And Mark, hashtag our Philadelphia Union doing the damn thing. First place. How you doing? A lot of fun stuff on deck here. And we're ever so close to rumor season again because the transfer window will be open before you know it. And all of this good stuff is going to be coming on this episode. But before we get started, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at FC Top Bins on Twitter and on TikTok, and at Top Bins Pod on Instagram and Threads. Subscribe to the pod on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star review. Goes a long way for helping this show continue to grow, plus all of our other shows on the network. And if you are an Apple Podcast user, be sure to check out the all-new Underground Sports Philadelphia channel on Apple Podcasts. Just go to the channels tab and it'll bring up all of our shows on the network, let you see the top shows, top episodes, and get you fully entrenched in the underground universe with all of our podcasts on the network in one centralized place. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. Leave a like on the video, drop a comment in the comment section, and click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. It is where you get full video episodes of this show every single week, full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It's all on our YouTube channel. And this episode, like it is every single week, is powered by our friends over at Classic Football Shirts. Guys, they are dropping absolute heat every single day of the week. Check out their current season clearance sale to get up to 80% off the tag price on selected lines. They're dropping weekly deals. Their recent drops, they've got a whole capsule now for Spurs. They've got their Castor current season clearance. You can get some 2024-2025 Castor jerseys right now for under $40. Their weekly deals are the tab that I check in every single week. They've got some absolute heat on there right now from all across the beautiful game. Use our link in the description and shop Classic Football Shirts so they know you're shopping with us. Use the link and upgrade your wardrobe with Classic Football Shirts, and we thank them for being a proud partner of Top Bins. Mark, we've got a fun final week of the season on deck. Obviously, the league title already clinched, but the battle for Europe is fully underway, and I am fully in the mud with that with Brighton. But at least we've had something to follow along with since Liverpool won the league, and it's like not just a foregone conclusion of where everyone's going to finish. Like the relegation teams, we knew for a long time they were going down. Liverpool ran away with the league. They win the title. But I think it's also been kind of fun, like that the middle of the table has just been in a fucking all-out brawl with each other to clinch top 8 once we found out that it was going to be a top 8 scenario with the extra bid for Champions League. Like, at least that's given extra oomph to pay attention to the rest of the way to see who's going to finish top 8 in the Prem.
Yeah, especially because like it was basically like every week it seemed like it's like every other team was giving it to the other teams, like, hey, you can have it, like, I don't want it. So yeah, the fact that we have essentially 3 teams or like 5 teams going for 3 places in Champions League is pretty insane. Yeah, no, it'll be an exciting final day of the season. There's going to be a lot of scoreboard watching for a lot of clubs, including yours.
Yes, 100%. And I love that everyone's just playing at the same time too. Like I love when sports do
Yeah.
that. Like it's just the best when it's just like full send. Everyone's playing at the same time. They're all going to end at relatively the same time, and
Yep.
then we'll know the results by the end of the weekend. But we did have quite the weekend last week in the Prem. And to recap everything here pretty quickly, there's some things that definitely played out in Brighton's favor to clinch top 8. There was definitely a lot of things that played out in Newcastle's favor to kind of stay above and be in that Champions League realm. But also some teams' top 8 hopes came to an end, and Aston Villa just continued to do their thing. Last Friday, they win 2-0 at home against Tottenham. Chelsea get a 1-0 win over Man United at home. Everton double up Southampton 2-0. Forest somehow survive and escape with a 2-1 win away at Bubble Land against West Ham. One of the big games, though, Fulham 3, Brentford 2. That was massive for Brighton. That was massive for, at the time, Bournemouth. But the fact that Fulham was able to pull out a win there and kind of keep Brentford stuck in their track rather than them running away with 8th place, that was a huge game, a huge result, a very fun game to watch too. Harry Wilson clinches it for Fulham with a goal in the 70th minute. But that was a massive implication game that a lot of fans from different teams were paying attention to. And Fulham get the job done, and I can't thank them enough.
Yeah. I mean, when you need stuff to break your way, and so far a lot of things have broken your way. So
Yes.
I mean, so we need one more game week to go though.
Keep it rolling. Relegation battle. Leicester City win 2-0 against Ipswich. Good win for Arsenal. 1-0 at home against Newcastle, kind of showing them what Champions League is all about. Declan Rice scores in the 55th minute, clean sheet there at home. That had to feel good for you guys to get a win against a very good opponent and a team that feels like they're not going away anytime soon either. So to kind of have an end of season matchup with them and it be so close and be a contentious matchup had to be a good result there at the end to know that you won 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, it was not the easiest matchup, obviously, because Newcastle kind of had our number this year a little bit with us losing away and then them beating us in the Carabao Cup semifinals. To get a win over them was good. I love Declan Rice. Whatever we paid for him, like we underpaid for him. And I feel like it was just like I wasn't too worried about losing Champions League or like second place because like we had Southampton last day of the season, so like worst case scenario, we would have blitzed them 3-4-0 and wouldn't matter. But like just to like end this home season on a high note because Newcastle are a bunch of fucking cunts. It felt good just to beat them. And now because second place is clinched, like we can rotate the lineup, rest some players, play some kids. It was good to see Havertz back. I don't know. I mean, annoying that like Saliba got hurt and like another hamstring injury. So, but it's the end of the year. Thankfully, you can get some rest. But like and it was good for some players to get on the pitch for a final send off in front of the fans, like Tierney. I'm gonna miss him. Jorginho. I was hoping he was gonna part his last home game, but it looks like they're close to agreeing to a 2-year deal, which is annoying. Um, and yeah, so good clean sheet, good to clinch Champions League second place again. Yeah, and it's just gonna be a very busy and important summer for us. Like obviously, it looks like we're getting Zubamendi. That's a good first step, but we need a lot more than that. So yeah, it's gonna be a busy, important summer for us for sure.
Yeah, and who would have thought, Liverpool win the league, and then I didn't even realize until I sent it in the group chat, they went on the top bins gauntlet the past 3 weeks, and Liverpool don't get a single win against any of our teams because Brighton come out on Monday and get a 3-2 win. An unbelievable game. Just a perfect way to end the home season for Brighton. They go down early. Harvey Elliott scores in the 9th minute, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, here we go. Liverpool have nothing to play for. Like, what are we doing? And then Ayari, who I think is one of the most underrated players, comes out in 32nd minute, scores. Liverpool get one back in extra time before halftime. And then just the super subs come in. Matoma comes off the bench, scores in the 69th minute. He is just unbelievable. Like, give him a blank check and just let him stay forever, because that dude is a certified rock star and just like the pulse of this team. And then Jack Hinchelwood comes in 85th minute as a substitute. In the 78th minute, he comes on. 85th minute, just scores a screamer, and Brighton win 3-2. One of the biggest parts of their quest to get to Europe and top 8 was to win that game. They get it done. And I mean, arguably one of, if not the best team win of the season. It was just perfect, top to bottom. The emotion from Hertzler in this one was great. And I know I brought it up early when we revived this show. Hertzler just reminds me so much of Sirianni. Like, that dude gets chastised by Brighton fans. They want him out early in the season, the 7-0 shit pumping to Nottingham Forest. Everything comes out, it reminds me of when Sirianni brings up like the flowers and watering the flowers. He burns the fucking game sheet in front of the team in the locker room with a lighter. Like, the dude just wins at the end of the day. And at home, Brighton recorded 16 of a possible 18 points against the original 6, your Super 6 teams at home this season. And people wanted this dude fired in January. Like, I think he's just a perfect manager for a team like this. He gets the most out of his players. They seem to want to go to war for him week in and week out. And to be able to get a win like this against Liverpool towards the end of the season, send the home fans off with something to remember, was huge. And season's not over. You got help early in the week. You got help later on in the week. And this weekend's huge. And if you take care of business and some other teams help you out, Brighton's doing, the dance for Europe in year 1 of Hertzler, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And then we had the pushed games from the FA Cup final. Crystal Palace double up Wolves 4-2. And then Man City put an end to Bournemouth's quest for Europe as they win 3-1. Both teams record red cards in this one. I think for a team like Bournemouth, regardless of them, not finishing with, European football this year, we said it when it happened, when they lost their 2 big dogs to injury pretty much for the season. We were like, how are they going to, navigate through this? It's a hell of a season for Bournemouth. A team who, they looked like they were going to go on a run early in the year, and then they get 2 devastating injuries, stay above water for as long as they did, and played extremely well for a majority of the year. I think if you're a Bournemouth fan, you can't be all too disappointed with the way that this season went for you. Sure, it looked a lot more promising than it ended up being, but the fact that you're going to end up potentially in top 10 this year after enduring those injuries and battling through for a team that, is not all too well known with, finishing top 10 like that. That's a pretty damn successful season for Bournemouth.
Yeah, no, I agree. Whenever I got the chance to watch Bournemouth, I enjoyed how they played. They're a very frustrating team to play against. So, props to Iriola and the entire coaching staff and the players as well. Yeah, it's a very successful season. I mean, losing Hoyson is tough, but I mean, when you got a good young center back with that cheap over release clause, the vultures are about to come. So, yeah, no, I mean, they just got to build up on it. They can keep if they can keep a good amount of their players. There's no reason why they can't go a couple places higher next year.
100%. They're going to be an intriguing team to watch for the next couple of years for sure. But as we look, battle for Europe coming up this week. this weekend and everything, and looking at where teams are kind of seated in the table. Obviously, Liverpool is 1, Arsenal 2.
Yeah.
Then the battle that's real interesting. Man City's sitting in third with 68 points. Newcastle's right behind them at 66. Chelsea's right behind them at 66 in terms of goal differential. They're behind Newcastle by just 2 goals. Villa is at 66, but their goal differential is far less than both Newcastle and Chelsea. Forest is in 7th with 65 points. They play Chelsea this weekend. Brighton is in 8th with 58 points. Brentford is in 9th with 55, and then Fulham in 10th with 54. The games this weekend are just going to be absolutely ludicrous. Like, Fulham plays Man City at home. Chelsea and Forest they play at Forest. Villa is at Man United. Everton is at Newcastle. And then Brighton are at Tottenham. Like, the games, and Brentford are at Wolves. So, like, there's going to be so much. Like, we need a Premier League version of Red Zone for this weekend.
Yeah.
Just the amount of like situations that could unfold. But I mean, like we said at the top of the show, like, what a perfect thing to have on the final day of the season, even when you already have a league title clinched, when you have your relegation spots already locked in. You have a mishmash of 3 through 10, not really certain of where any of them could finish.
And it could be like any scenario could happen at the end of the day. Like, any of those teams can finish at any like position in the table. Would not surprise me at all. All I care about is I need Forest to finish outside of Champions League. My hater agenda will be correct.
But yeah, I'm super pumped for what's going to happen, and it's all East Coast friendly start times too.
Yeah, no, 11 a.m.
Eastern is perfect. And I'm just, it's going to be super exciting, and I will be on the edge of my seat for that game for Brighton and Spurs, just waiting to see how everything else shakes out too. But our matchups this weekend, Leicester City is at Bournemouth, Man City at Fulham, Brentford at Wolves, Chelsea at Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa at Man United, Arsenal at Southampton, Everton at Newcastle, Crystal Palace at Liverpool, West Ham at Ipswich, and then Brighton at Tottenham. And I know everyone's probably wondering what Brighton have to do for me to smile. And guess what? We'll talk about it a little bit too. Mark, if it is indeed the year of the bird, it just means Brighton has to finish top 8. But the way for Brighton to advance to European football is the following. They've already had about half of the things go their way, but this weekend they need Forest to beat Chelsea, Villa to not lose to Man United, Brighton to not lose to Spurs, and then Chelsea have to win the Conference League against Real Betis, which I think all of those things are possible. I think the biggest one to pay attention to in my book is Forest and Chelsea, because you never know what's going to happen there. Forest can't score. Chelsea can't score. So you never know how that will kind of play out. But also, like, will Chelsea be even paying attention during that game, knowing that they have Conference League upcoming as well? Those are the 4 things for Brighton to advance to European football and lock in top 8. The biggest thing, obviously, too, is don't lose to Spurs.
Yeah.
Which, who knows how they'll be playing. They'll be on a bender celebrating their finish in the Europa League, but you never know. But Table Talk there, brought to you by our friends over at Biñho. Guys, Biñho is the biggest tabletop gaming experience. You break that out at a party, you break it out at the tailgates, you're going to be the talk of your event. This Friday at noon Eastern, Biñho is dropping their next officially licensed board. I told Harrison about it. He's super pumped. It is an officially licensed Chelsea board coming to Biñho's website that will drop at noon Eastern time on their website. Check out all of the boards that they have available, from officially licensed Liverpool, Arsenal. They just dropped the PSG board a couple weeks ago, and they have their entire MLS collection as well, including our Philadelphia Union. Use our link in the description, and when you go to checkout, get 10% off your entire order with code Biñho Bennet 62. Again, that's code Biñho Bennet 62 when you use our link to shop with Biñho, and you'll get 10% off your entire order. And we thank Biñho for being a proud partner of the podcast. Speaking of Europa League, we had the final happen today as we record on Wednesday. Spurs get a 1-0 win in the most mid-battle I've ever watched.
I can't believe they fucking won a trophy. I never thought I'd see the day again. It's disappointing. I still don't believe that argument that Spurs had a better season than us. Don't buy it at all.
Yeah, no.
And I still don't buy the argument. Oh, Arteta couldn't have won it in the 3 years. Yeah, because the fucking teams dropped. Good teams dropped from the Champions League into the Europa League, while Spurs had to and United had cakewalks essentially. If we had their schedule, I'm pretty sure we would have won a Europa League by now. But whatever. I'm not going to say congrats to Spurs. I'm just going to say fuck United and fuck Spurs. I can't believe that. I mean, it's the rules. I mean, it is what it is. They're going to be in the Champions League. Good luck to them. I don't know. There's not much to say. It's just, you could see, watching that game, you could see why both teams are 16th and 17th respectively in the table. And it was just, here's the thing. If United won, then that's an easy decision. You keep with Amarin, you fire Ange at the end of the year, you move on. The fact that Spurs won, do you keep Ange now? Do you keep Amarin now? Considering he's won only 9 points since he got hired, and the only non-relegated team that he's beaten was Fulham, and that's it. What do you do with both those teams and everything? That's an issue I don't want to be in.
I'm glad we don't have to deal with it.
Correct.
The way watching that game today and just watching as it continued to go on and knowing that the winner was going to get Champions League football, I was like, whoever ends up winning this are going to get fucking mutilated in Champions League next year. They are. Mm-hmm. They were. It was almost like I was watching a different sport. The way that those two teams were playing, I was blown away by how bad they both were, and it didn't matter to me who won one way or the other. In terms of just how laughable of a game it was. It was the most mid-off game for a trophy I think I've ever watched in any sport. It was mind-numbingly bad.
Yep. And someone had to win that game. Fortunately, it was the wrong team, in my opinion. But
Tottenham are going to get embarrassed in Champions League next year. I know they'll get the money from winning Europa League and everything, but they have so many issues that extend even off the pitch. Like you said, what do you do with Ange? We were talking before we started recording a little bit too. Ange feels like the type of manager, now that he won a trophy for them, he'll be there to start the season. Then if they get off to a bad start, he'll get sacked and they'll be a laughingstock.
Correct. And I'm hoping that's exactly what happens. So,
which would be hilarious.
We'll see.
But the year of the bird continues as Liverpool win the Premier League, Tottenham win Europa League, Newcastle win the Carabao Cup, Crystal Palace win the FA Cup. Now it's time for Brighton to finish the job that was all started by our Philadelphia Eagles.
That's right, go Birds.
On top of that, and on top of the Premier League action we have going on this weekend, Friday of all days, we have quite the intriguing Serie A title contention to look forward to. And before we talk about that, I want to talk about Paramount Plus, because that is your place to catch all of the action, especially that Champions League final that we'll be talking about on next week's episode. Don't miss a single second of all your favorite football action on Paramount Plus, plus their entire back catalog of movies and shows. They are truly the best. Use our link in the description. Sign up for Paramount Plus so you don't miss out on that Champions League final. Don't miss out on any future football as well. Only on Paramount Plus. Use our link, like I said, to sign up for Paramount Plus today and get started with our friends at Paramount Plus. Serie A title being the most contentious title up for grabs this weekend is pretty impressive. 1 point separates Napoli and Inter, 79 points for Napoli, Inter with 78. They're both playing on Friday, which is, we were talking a little bit before we started recording, which is pretty weird that a title's going to get determined on a Friday. But I mean, good for those fans, one way or the other. Whoever ends up winning, they're going to have a whole weekend to celebrate. Both teams have favorable matchups too, which is the interesting aspect of this. So to see who's going to come out on top is going to be fascinating. But they're the only two teams playing on Friday. It's 2:45 Eastern for both games, and it is available to watch on Paramount Plus. I don't know who's going to win. Like, both teams have been extremely good all season long, but it does feel like pressure is more on Inter to not only like potentially walk away with a league title, but then you're also have the capability, if things go your
Doing a
way in the
double.
Champions League final, to get the double.
I don't know if I think the pressure's on Napoli because you're the team in lead. So like Inter can nothing to lose, knowing they have a big game the next day or the next week. So like and they also get like a week. So I think the pressure's on Napoli. Especially because Inter won the title last year. So like maybe you can argue, okay, you can go back to back, for example, and that could be pressure. But no, I think the pressure is solely on Napoli. Especially because is Napoli at home or are they on the road?
I will pull that up right here. So Napoli are home, Inter's on the road.
Yeah, so you're at home. Excuse me, you're at home too. Yeah, the pressure's on them.
Yeah, Napoli plays Calgary at home, and Inter are at Como. And in terms of where those two teams are in the standings,
Almost
Calgary
10th, I believe.
And Calgary's 14th.
Yeah, so
again, it's like favorable matchups for both. Obviously, Como's a little bit better, but it's almost like different pressures. Like you said, like the pressure is on Napoli. You're at home to win in front of your home fans. You're in first place, and then Inter's got we can fill the trophy case this season pressure as well. It's going to be awesome to watch. It's all on Paramount Plus. I'm looking forward to it. Plus, what's better than having a league title in any league up for grabs on the final day of the season? It makes everything that much more fun and just intriguing. They're two good teams, and Inter obviously have had an incredible season, not only domestically but in Champions League as well. And who knows what happens? If they end up winning, Napoli falls, and Inter have a chance to get that double, which would be pretty impressive nonetheless, especially going up against PSG. But Serie A final is going to be one for the books. I'm very much looking forward to it, as my phone thinks I'm talking to SIRI, so I don't say it again and it activates it. But yeah, looking forward to that Serie A final for sure. And then last bit here, our Philadelphia Union, Mark, our Philadelphia Union. It's brought to you by our friends over at 47 brand. Guys, we love 47 here at Underground Sports Philadelphia. I'm rocking my Brighton 47 hitch style hat right now. They're truly the best. And Mark, I don't know if you knew, I don't know if you perused their website a little bit. They got a couple new Arsenal hats in the fold that look pretty sweet. I'm assuming because they brought the Premier League capsule in this season with just Arsenal, Liverpool, and West Ham. I'm assuming they're going to get some more going into next season as well. But they've got the Premier League hats available.
Ooh, that cream color hat is nice.
Fire. I knew you would be all over that one. As soon as I saw it, I was like, that is a Mark hat if I've ever seen one. Well, here's the fun part, Mark. For all of our listeners out there, when you use our link in the description, you get free shipping when you join the 47 family. And when you make an order, you earn points on your account. You rack up those points on every order you make. So use our link in the description, shop with 47, and check out all of the hats and apparel that they have to offer on their website. And we thank 47 for being a proud partner of the podcast. Philadelphia Union look unbelievable. We talked about it a little bit on the main pod tonight as well. You know, in our lifetimes of being cognizant of the Philadelphia, it has been the Jim Curtin show. Like, he is the institution of being the front man for the Union. But man, Bradley Carnell has this team playing at a level that I didn't know was possible. Like, it's like he took the Union from being like Charmeleon and evolved them into Charizard the way that they're playing, because it feels like the way they were playing in 2022 again. Like, their goal differential is insane. They're playing incredible defense. The offense is firing on a level that is unreal. And I've said this for a while now. Like, obviously we have the Phillies and we've had great success with the Phillies here in Philadelphia the past couple of seasons. But I also think, like, the summertime, when you're waiting for the NFL to come back around as an American sports fan, when the Union are good, it's fun. Like, they are a fun team to follow along with. The vibes at Subaru Park are always a blast. And they're sitting at the top of the table and have a +9 goal differential tiebreaker over Cincinnati right now to be first in the table in the East. They have the second best goal differential in the entire MLS. And guess what? This weekend, coming off a U.S. Open Cup round of 16 win tonight as we record this, they've got Inter Miami coming to town.
And golden boot leaner so far, Ty Baribo. I'm sorry, Messi.
He's been unbelievable.
And I have a tweet from March 1st saying Ty Baribo golden boot season incoming. So I'm just saying.
He's been incredible. Like, that's a guy where, like, I feel like coaching and scheme have unlocked his game to a completely new level that I don't even know if he knew was possible.
Yeah.
He's been so impressive. And I know we were critical of them making moves during the season too, and trading away guys. It's like, what are we doing? Like, we're in first place. Why are we doing this? And they just continue to just find ways to win and be dominant. And I don't know. It's one of those things that you have your institution guys, Andre Blake, and his backup, I'm blanking on his name too, has played extremely well when he hasn't played. And I mean, it feels like guys are developing well, and Ty Baribo has just been at the forefront of being a goal scoring machine. And I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about Bradley Carnell this year, just looking at his track record and everything, and seeing how the team was playing early on, and just the style of play. And I was almost like, is he going to run these guys into the ground like too early in the season, that when playoffs roll around and stuff like that, if they're able to get there, are they going to be drained? Are they going to be, in form? So far, he's made me eat my words. And that was just kind of just like watching the way he was coaching them. And now, they're sitting very clear at the top of the table with 29 points. And this has been, I don't want to say that firing Jim Curtin like had to happen, but it is one of those things that it's almost like the age-old trope where like a new voice unlocks a lot of the talent again, and having a new message in the locker room works. And I
Yeah,
think that's exactly what we're witnessing, a few months into the season now, is having that new voice, a new, leader at the helm, even with, some franchise guys that are still on the team that are, locker room leaders. It's helped this team kind of find a new gear. And, their next couple matches, they're home against Miami, they're at Toronto, and then they're at Dallas before the break. I mean, the way they're playing, would it shock us in the slightest if they're able to win all three of those? I don't think so.
not at all. The way they're
Especially the way
playing, not at all.
Miami's been slipping.
Yeah, and they've also like a few like late wins, few
Mm-hmm.
comeback wins. Like so, like the beliefs there, like they're in it until the end. So
And I mean, you got good vibes coming off another U.S. Open Cup victory
win tonight,
tonight.
yeah,
So that's obviously great. And, I think that win last weekend at Atlanta was huge. You come back to win that game, like you said, coming back late against the Galaxy. I think the only one that in recent memory that they wish they could have back was that 2-2 draw to Columbus. Like, that's a game they probably should have won. It got away late, but other than that, like it's just been such a fun start to the year for the Union. I think it's only going to continue. 3 games in a short amount of time is tough, but we'll see how it all plays out. But I'm excited to see how things shake out as the season continues for the Union as we go into the summer and Premier League season kind of winds down. We'll still have the Union to pay attention to because they're the best team in the league. Best team. Who would have thought Philadelphia having Super Bowl champs, best team in baseball, best team in the MLS? What a time. At the end of the day, as we always say, Mark, it always comes back to Philadelphia.
that's right. Center of the universe, baby.
Center of the universe. That's all we got for you guys on this one. Make sure you're following us on the socials at FC Top Bins on Twitter and TikTok, at Top Bins Pod on Instagram and Threads. Subscribe to the pod on Apple and Spotify. Subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Leave a like on the video. Drop a comment in the comment section. Click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. I know a bunch of, Fabrizio Romano tweets have been popping off the past couple days, and a lot of news of transfers coming through. We'll probably bring that up next week when more clarity comes through with a lot of those moves, but there's a lot of rumors already swirling around, which is exciting, keeps the content flowing. But you can leave us a voicemail, speakpipe.com/FC Top Bins, if you want to sound off on your team allegedly making moves going into the summer. You can let us know. We'll react to the voicemails on the show, speakpipe.com/FC Top Bins. And we'll be back next week breaking down how the battle for Europe shakes out, how we're feeling going into the Champions League final, and a whole lot more. But until then, we're getting that up out of here. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the Serie A final on Friday. Enjoy a shit ton of games at 11 a.m. for the Premier League final weekend. And we'll see you right back here next week. But until then, we'll see you next week.